What is shaking? It's Monday. You know how we like to do it on Monday. We talk 49er football with a great friend of the show, great friend of mine, number 84 in your program, number 1 in your hearts, our favorite tight end around these parts, Brent Jones. What's up, Brent?
Hey, Tommy. Great run.
Again, huh? I mean, I was just talking to Brent before the show. I feel like we're doing a variation of the same show each and every week where we're like, oh shit, how did this happen again? Like, these guys just keep pulling rabbits out of the hat. And yesterday wasn't, although I will say this, Brent, yesterday wasn't like they were going to lose that game until they ended up winning that game. Like, I felt pretty good about the game the whole time. Obviously, we'll get to the fourth down play by chance. And I don't know if it was by chance or by chance, but it was Chase. Excuse me, Chase Lucas. See, I couldn't remember his name.
We don't even know. We're still trying to figure it out.
When Lucas made that, I kid you not, the first thing out of my mouth was, "Who the fuck is that guy?" And I have no idea. I have no idea who he is. And then they go down and score the touchdown. But that one was just grit. Gritty is a word I've used a lot this year. You want to talk about grinding your way to a victory, but it is they're fun to watch. The bang for the buck for 49er games is high this year.
Bang for the buck is off the charts. There's a lot of volatility each game, and you never know which way it's going to end up. But we've been sailing along. I mean, we've won more than our fair share as of this moment in time. Given the
5
that have been in. Man.
Yep. Yeah, I had the Niners. I felt good. I had the Niners last night. I haven't wagered on a lot of Niner games, although I did have the Niners against the Rams. A bet that I said I ripped up before the game because they got terrible line value and still ended up winning that one. Anyway, but I felt good about last night because that seems to be the Falcons over the last number of years. Just when you think they're going to be, they're not. It's like, oh, here come no, they don't. And they just go back and do what the Falcons do. And the Niners resolved this year. And I thought without Warner, everybody would band together a little bit more. Like, I feel like this team, Brent, is feeling like, you know what? If we're not all on top of our game, we could not only lose, we could get embarrassed out here. And so everyone's got to be mentally, physically as tight as you can be. And everyone's got to be pulling the same direction and giving max effort. And I just felt like that would be enough against the Falcons. And ultimately it was.
It really was. But I have to say, our backups have been prepared to come into the games that they have to play and open up a can of whoop ass. Because I'm telling you, it's not that easy. And all of a sudden, we got Matt Hennessy at center. We got Chase Lucas out at corner. We got Tatum Bethune at linebacker. And these guys in training camp, I have to say, I might have read their name, but I had no idea who they were.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super, super impressive. My guy, Mucho Pinero, coming through. Just give me more, baby. Little Mucho. I mean, it's if you think about where we went on the kicker spectrum, from every kick could be a massive destruction of the game to, hey, it's funny every time. It's like, wow. Now, I know he's not going to be 80 for 80 on field goals during the season. But man, that has been awesome. But when you have guys, there's something that invigorates you when you see a backup and they get their opportunity and they come in and they excel. I mean, Chase Lucas jumping that fourth down route. I mean, he saw it in practice. He saw the motion, knew what was going on. Man, that should have been a pick six. It was still a great play. But how great would it have been of him running down the sidelines? I'm telling you, our line, we talked about it last week. We kind of hammered them. We weren't opening up enough holes for Christian McCaffrey. And how much different did Christian look last night? He was crushing it. But we got Matt Hennessy coming in after 18, 20 snaps and leading the charge at center, which is the toughest position to replace. I mean, that was dang impressive.
Yeah, every time Moody used to kick, 49er fans were like Fred Sanford. Oh, the big one. I feel the big one. Oh, it's coming every single time. And
We
now
lost more than a few fans over the years too. They didn't bounce back.
There's no doubt. I'm sure EMT calls spiked when Moody jogged onto the field.
Big time.
Any doubt about that? So, all right. So, what was the difference last night? Because I came up with one big difference last night as to why Christian McCaffrey, and it's not only this, but why Christian McCaffrey was able to do what he did on the ground.
Well, I do think that having George back was significant.
Yeah.
But when you're talking, and I'm right now, I don't want to downplay George's impact, because for catching 0 passes, which I was kind of angry about. In fact, maybe I was more pissed than he was. But it was like, dude, let's get our guy's coming back. Let's get him involved. Like, what the heck? So that was a little off-putting initially. But yeah, him being back in blocking and probably telling guys their assignments really matters. But you have to have all 5 of those guys getting some good movement. And even just one guy can't make it all work. So it was nice to see our interior offensive linemen getting a push and giving McCaffrey room to run, room to cut, getting the ball. I mean, what a stud receiver. I mean, we know that he's a stud receiver, but teams just can't cover him. So I was just so fired up about, here we go. This is what we have needed, because it just changes the passing game and it changes the pressure. And I mean, our pass blocking is still just okay. But Mac Jones got out of the way a few times, which was nice. Yep. Made a few plays with his legs, which is typically not what you're going to say. But all in all, that having Kittle back changes the energy in the room. It just does.
Yeah, it's like, look what the Chiefs did with Rashee Rice yesterday. Hey, he's back. Let's feed him. Let's get him involved right away. Well, the kid, like you said, Kittle, he just does not care. He doesn't care. If he's like kicking people's ass, run blocking, he's just as happy. Well, that's an Iowa tight end for you. He's just as happy killing people on the line than he is catching the ball. But you mentioned McCaffrey. That we talked about this last night. The 3rd and 13 that preceded the touchdown to put him up 20-10. That little seam route that he caught to get the first down. Good. Where apparently I read today, not only did the Falcons have 10 guys in the field, well done. Raheem Morris said that's embarrassing. It is. McCaffrey was going to come out of the game, and Shanahan sent him back out there and said, no, I need you on this one. Like, he said he doesn't do that typically. Like, he wants to come out, he comes out, but he needed him on that one. And we see why. And I asked Bergie this last night, how many guys outside maybe Bijan Robinson, running backs, could run that route, make that catch?
No, not in the game today. Very few. Bijan comes to mind, obviously. But back in the day, Roger Craig and Ricky Waters,
Marshall Faulk,
good freaking,
or Ricky Waters could have
out of the backfield.
And I thought LaDainian Tomlinson and Marshall Faulk are guys that probably, but there's very few guys in the history of the game that are like really good runners. I mean, you have your pass catching receivers back in the day that weren't great runners, but they were good receivers. Yep. I'm talking about guys that could do both. There's not a lot of those guys that even exist. And McCaffrey, to be able to do that, that was such a massive play to put them in a position to go up 2 scores and kind of, you could take a breath at that point. I mean, what a huge play that was.
Huge play. Let me ask you this. Does it look like Christian McCaffrey's lost a step?
No.
Hell no. Like, so I've been starting to read that a little bit because he's getting 3.2 yards a carry. It's like, hey, look at the offensive line. I mean, if your offensive line's not working, it ain't going to come out the same. There's just no way. I always use Emmitt Smith. I mean, Emmitt Smith plays for the Tampa Bay Bucks. It ain't the same Emmitt Smith. Not even close. That offensive line that he had was amazing. But it matters. Now, once you get past the first level, that's on the running back. But you got to get some push. You got to have some holes. You got to have some type of movement that creates some type of a hole. It doesn't have to be a huge hole, but we weren't getting much at all the first several weeks of the season. And so
Yeah.
just to see that, but you know, the naysayers, oh, it looks like McCaffrey's lost a step. Yeah, dude, pay attention to the game.
Yeah. Well, I think
watch him in the passing game. He hasn't lost a step.
Yeah, I think his yards yards before contact were one of the fewest in the league.
Yeah.
Meaning he didn't get a hole to run through and then make somebody miss. Like he was getting hit almost immediately at the line of scrimmage. And I don't care who you are. Ask Saquon Barkley how that works out. I mean, Saquon Barkley is not having a good year, and it's not Saquon Barkley. Do you think he's lost a step? No, their offensive line isn't that good anymore. That's why
the offensive line is brutal.
That's why, look, everyone that knows football knows this. You win the games with your 5 guys up front and your 4 guys on defense up front. That's where the game is. If you don't have that, nothing else matters. It doesn't really matter.
It is
right?
true. It is true. It might not sell the most tickets, but I guarantee you, if your offensive line's bad or your defensive line's bad, you're bad.
You're bad. Absolutely. I was just looking this up. So last night, McCaffrey averaged 5.4 yards per carry. By far his best game. He had his most carries last night, 24 for 129. Previous high was 69, 22 for 69. The only time he cleared 4 yards a carry was 13 carries, 55 yards in New Orleans. So, yeah, I mean, look, the line was good. Kittle being back is obviously a huge deal. I also think that Atlanta's a little light up front, so that was kind of a perfect recipe. George coming back and their line being a little bit light. But, yeah, for those that think Christian McCaffrey have lost a step, I think they're looking at stats, looking at all your, like, advanced analytics and all this stuff. It's like, just watch the game. You know what? I'll give you a quick story because it's funny you mentioned that. I was talking to somebody a number of years ago, and we were talking about Mike Trout. This is probably 8 years ago, back when Mike Trout was like constantly one of the top 2 players in the game. And it was like, you know, you look at Mike Trout, he's on a Hall of Fame path, doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. I was like, no, man, he's incredible. You know, he's got a hole at the top of his swing and some of the stuff that blah, blah. I talked because I watched him pretty much every day. I'm an Angel fan.
I know.
And you know what he said to me? He goes, oh, yeah, I don't really watch him. I just kind of see the numbers. I'm like, fucking what? Like, I feel like people that talk about sports now, much more than ever, talk about things they don't even see. They just read, and they just go on these charts and look up these numbers, and they form an opinion or a conclusion or a theory without ever watching. It's like, what are we doing here? You're just like
all based on
looking
stats.
at a float. Yeah, it's like watch the game. Use your eyes a little bit. And my theory on that is those people don't really know the game, but they know numbers. They feel like that's their way into the conversation. I'm talking to you, fucking nerds. Nerds!
Man. You scared me. I thought you were talking to me.
McCaffrey has not lost a step.
Not even at all. All you have to do, don't even look at his rushing numbers. Watch him catching the ball and his movement and his acceleration and his breaks. And you know he has not. But he just hasn't had room to run. That's a reality. And be thankful you didn't draft Saquon in your fantasy draft.
My fantasy draft
getting
sucks.
Smoked.
You want to know my 2 first picks in fantasy this year?
Who?
Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, I had him too.
Brian Thomas Jr. How's that work? My team
You're
is
out.
so bad. I mean, it's sad. It's like you're like, oh, I can't wait. Fantasy football, I can talk some smack and then I'm like out of the conversation. I'm the kid that got off the bus first and everybody else. I'm the kid with lice. No one wants to be around that kid. Like I don't even get in the conversation. It's sad. The whole party's going on around me and I'm in the garage. I can't even.
I'm the lice kid too. So I had not only did I have our guy from the Giants. Geez, I'm blanking on his name.
Malik Neighbors.
Yeah. I had neighbors. I had Tyreek Hill, and I have Lamar Jackson.
Oh,
It's a beat down. Like, why does my team even show up?
my team is so awful.
Like, I'm almost to the point of just like auto setting my lineup.
I know, dude. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. I had to start Kamani Vidal of the Chargers, and I'm so bad that I picked him up last week. He had 22 points. I didn't play him. I mean, I can't. I don't have the team, and if I do have the team, they score when they're on the bench. It's just I'm done. I just want to go. I just want to fast forward to next year.
I played Dana yesterday, and I was ahead for a while, and I was feeling pretty proud just because she was starting to get a little mad, and then she just blew me away. I didn't even acknowledge it.
Oh, it's just so brutal.
Yeah, it's just so brutal. Like, so I'm sure she's gonna let me have it at some point today. Like, hey, smoked you.
So what is this? I mean, what does this mean for the team when you have, Lucas and Hennessy and Bethune was fantastic last night, and I brought it up last night, Brent. Not only was he fantastic, he's the green dot guy. Like, he's got it. That's on his plate too. So that being on his plate and then being able to do what he did last night, what a performance!
It's almost unheard of, I think, to come in, call the plays, get guys in position, and dominate. 10 tackles is legit. But the thing that stood out to me, a couple things, but one, he packed a wallop a couple times. Like, there was a couple of bone-jarring tackles. But that sucker can rush the passer. And we blitzed a little bit. Remember, we kind of talked, you and I have talked a couple of weeks, like, we're going to have to manufacture some pressure. But all of a sudden, Bryce Huff, looks like a world beater. And Bethune, all of a sudden, it's a skill from the linebacker position to be able to blitz and get to the passer. And he looks like he's innately qualified to do that. It's just his movement and his lanes, his leverage. And, man, who knew? Because who's going to come in and play in front of – if Fred Warner can even limp onto the field, you want him out there.
Yep.
That was so impressive to me. But Huff is getting some push. He for sure – he's coming out of a cannon. And it's all of a sudden – people said – he could be rejuvenated under Robert Saleh, and man, he looks rejuvenated.
He absolutely does, and it's interesting.
But when I think of blitzing, I got off the subject because it's so fired up.
That's okay.
This is the most that we've talked about defense in a while, but yeah, it looked dang good. Bijan Robinson has been making defenses look silly this year, a handful of times, and he was getting touches, but he wasn't hurting us in the run game. He had a few nice pass plays, but holy cow. I mean, that was going to be a all-night chore, and we looked like we were absolutely up to the challenge.
Absolutely. What do you think his longest run was?
I don't know, 7 yards?
Yep, 8 yards longest run. We talked about setting the edge last night. They set the edge. Guys were flowing to the ball. There were, I know it's coach speak, hats on the ball. There was plenty of hats on the ball. Like, they had him bottled up. I want to talk about one guy because I want to get to Huff in a second. But one hit last night that we haven't seen in a while, and that's because we haven't seen this player in a while. That hit that Mustafa put on Algier last night.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I was like, I've been missing that. I've been missing that. From the safety position.
Lighting it up from the safety position.
Ooh, I mean, he's so
great to see him back. And I mean, that was bone jarring as well. I mean, you could feel it. It was just a brutal shot and against a tough running back as well.
Yeah.
And so, man, that matters. And so, we're talking about a bunch of defensive guys and guys that we've hardly talked about all year, or never talked about. So, this team has something, and we've talked about that a couple times. But this team has something in its chemistry, in its locker room that for whatever reason last year's team lost, but it's back. And it's been around for this current generation of guys, Kittle, Fred Warner, this kind of crew. It's been there, and man, you're seeing it in spades this year, because to have guys who haven't had their opportunity step in and play like they're playing.
Yeah.
And so your question a few minutes ago was, so what does this mean? Where do we go? Well, it means we're still in the mix. We're still in the running. And I thought when Fred Warner was out, it's like, okay, certainly Fred Warner and what he does is irreplaceable. But man, you get a couple other guys stepping up their game, and the guy calling the plays steps up the first game and has 10 tackles and is all over the field, pressures, you name it. And you think to yourself, man, if our defense plays like that and we get everybody back healthy on offense, man, and we keep Christian McCaffrey healthy and George Kittle healthy, and our line is getting some movement and giving our McCaffrey some running lanes, anything can happen. This team, we have talent that's coming back at wide receiver, and all of a sudden we get healthy. We get our starting quarterback back. Mac Jones was good, probably not as good as I'd seen him the previous games, but he was still good last night. And I mean, like we said, you can't win in this league unless you have a backup quarterback that can play. Because if your backup can't play, it's almost unheard of now to have a starter go 16 games.
Yeah, no. Well, I thought they didn't ask him to do as much last night. I think he only threw maybe 27, 29, somewhere around there. So it wasn't up in the mid to high 40s, which he had been the last few weeks. And the one pick that he threw, I love Juwan Jennings, but he kind of stopped short on that thing. I think he saw the linebacker, and he just kind of stopped and reached out for it, and it went off the outside of his hands and got picked. I mean, you tell me, you would know better.
Dude, that's Gator City right there, baby. We call it. You got to call it. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. It's one thing to do it and drop the ball. You cannot, dude. There are no T-Rexes here.
No T-Rexes.
But yeah, no, I actually thought he came back and made some big plays after that.
He did.
He was fired up, and we had this thing the previous week, and that has really not ever been who he's been. So maybe it was an anomaly. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
But we need him. Like, he's going to be a key figure in the success of this team this year. He just is. Ayuk, even when he comes back, can do some things, but he's still going to be getting his feet wet from being out a whole year. And it's game time is different than, practice time and rehab time. So we're going to need Juwan. We're going to need, him fired up, encouraged, contributing and having that team first attitude that he's always had. It put me on my heels last week, to be quite honest. So
it's interesting because I want to get to Huff, but there were guys that they signed either this offseason or after the season started that anybody could have had. They go out and get Mac Jones. That was a huge signing. And I said some of it was probably him wanting to be here and be in Shanahan's system and seeing what happened with that Sam Darnold. I get that.
Be coached well.
Yeah, exactly. But if somebody paid him more, maybe go somewhere else. Anyway, so you get him. You go out and get Kendrick Bourne after the season starts. You go out and get your guy Mucho Pinheiro after the season starts. They sign Huff, who everybody said, well, look, get him back with Robert Saleh and let's see what happens. But then there wasn't like there was a bidding war for this guy. Anybody, if they wanted to pay more, they probably could have had him. And each of them have been critically important. I mean, Bourne's had a couple massive games. Pinheiro, we don't even need to go into it, how big he's been. Mac Jones has won some games for us. And then Huff, now that Bosa's out, he's your one legitimate guy that can get to the quarterback, and he's been getting to the quarterback. He had the forced fumble last night on the sack. He was really good last night. But I mean, the importance of those guys that you look at, and they weren't even part of the core of the team to start the year, have just become more and more important, keeping this thing headed in the right direction. And just they keep adding players, Brent. Like each week, they keep adding somebody new that, he was kind of an important guy, but not a guy you would look at and go, he's part of the core of the team. But without those guys, good luck.
Man, and we don't talk about this enough, but everybody always points out, hey, when the GMs missed on a draft pick, right? Hey, look at that pet draft pick or this guy. But how about roster construction? I mean, we are competing at a very high level with 5 or 6 guys that we didn't even know of during training camp. That is ridiculous. I mean, John Lynch has to be the leader in the clubhouse as a GM this year, and Kyle absolutely has to be leading in the clubhouse of Coach of the Year relative to what we've had to deal with. And I know it's still early, and I'm sounding like the Cincinnati Bengals bandwagon announcers, but it's true, and it gets me fired up because these guys are serious about their job, and it can be highlighted through. Typically, it's highlighted through the draft what they do, but nobody ever sees the special teams guys that make a big difference. That you end up signing, and a guy that can play special teams and then come in and be the freaking starting linebacker, call the plays, put guys in the right position, and lead the team with 10 tackles. I mean, that's a hell of a pick right there. And I just don't know that sometimes we look at the overall picture to give guys credit. Hey, everybody in this league, if you're a general manager or a scout or what have you, you had your hits and you've had your misses. Hopefully you have more hits than misses. The guys that have more misses aren't around very long. But it's the little things. It's the construction. Guy can play. Hey, I don't know where I should have done my research. I don't know where Matt Hennessy came from, but holy crap, he blocked his butt off last night. I mean, that kid, and we're more stout interior, I think, than we've been in a handful of games. And so something's going right. So it's got, the personnel group with the 49ers, and of course, John Lynch gets all the credit. But man, guys are out busting their tail because a lot of teams, this would have collapsed a couple of weeks ago. Would have collapsed with Bosa. Would have collapsed with Purdy. Would have collapsed with Kittle. Think about it. Huff has stepped up. Now, he was already there, but Mac Jones has stepped up. Tonjes has stepped up. Who the heck was Tonjes?
Yeah, I know. That's a good point.
Yeah.
He made some plays. Hennessy, Falcons for 3 years. Last year was with the Eagles and Falcons. Or maybe this year was with the Eagles and Falcons. Maybe he got cut from all these teams. I'm going to have to read, but he was with the Falcons from 20 to 23.
I'm sure he was. So a little revenge game for him. That had to feel awesome.
Yeah. 3rd-team All-American at Temple.
Holy cow.
He's a Temple Owl from, I've heard of this school, Don Bosco Prep. That's like the De La Salle of New Jersey or something like that. I know they're pretty good.
They're like the South Lake Carroll Dragons.
There we go. Work it in. No, every time I think of Hennessy, I don't think of Matt Hennessy. I think of you remember Jordan Bell for the Warriors?
I know where you're going to go with this. Yes.
When they won their first championship, they had the parade, and he had a bottle of Hennessy, and he was just walking around the streets with his bottle of Hennessy going, "Hi." And I'm just like, bro, you're a rookie. Okay. Ease up a little bit. I mean, have a good time, but come on.
So there's this aftermarket truck group called Hennessy, and I have a Hennessy.
Okay.
I have a Hennessy truck. And my wife's like, when I got it, you're going to be running around advertising alcohol? And I'm like, honey, relax. It's a truck maker. She's like, well, nobody knows that because it says Hennessy on the side of the truck. I'm like, come on.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
yeah, that's something that's not my That's not my avenue. My avenue strictly flows with beer. That is it. Period.
I figured it was. I figured
There's
you went up
no
to snuff on the truck Hennessy.
no alcohol. Don't know Hennessy.
Or the center Hennessy until last night.
I didn't
But
know
I
the
won't
center
forget
Hennessy.
his name.
No, I won't forget it now. I wasn't up on the cornerback Chance Lucas. I got to be honest with you there.
Or Chase, his brother.
Yeah. Or Chase looks. I don't know why I keep saying Chance. Now I can't even get his name right. I had at least had his name right last night.
That makes it all that's better.
I can't get his name right.
These are guys we didn't even know.
Oh my gosh! It's like we played a clip on the radio like all the time over the last 3 or 4 years, and it's from the Houston Rockets announcer, and I always forget his name. Nice guy though, so nice I forgot his name. But we were playing the Rockets, and I think it was my first year with the Warriors, and I went off that game. I had like 24 and 10 and was hitting jumpers all over the place. And at one point during the broadcast, he goes, if you don't know Tom Tolbert, get in line. Not many of us do.
That's kind of wrong, but kind of funny.
He was a member of the Arizona Final Four team, but not a major player. I was like, well, goddamn, I was second on the team in scoring. Yeah. I mean, geez.
Know the game.
I actually thought it was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty funny, though. Get in line. Not many do.
At least he didn't call you Tim Tolbert.
He did not call me Tim Tolbert. Yeah. I got mentioned a lot that game because I did score a fair amount, and then Akeem scored a fair amount on me. So I was in the middle of the action.
Dude, that's a whole nother conversation, but how was it going against Akeem?
Not great.
Yeah, not great.
I mean, the bar was set pretty low. I got to be honest. It wasn't like people. I don't think people were expecting me to be the Akeem stopper. So if I got to stop here or there, then I felt like people were like satisfied. Like because I mean, you're talking about one of the greatest centers of all time, but his quickness. I used to tell the refs, because they always used to like marvel at his feet and his dream spins and his dream shakes and all that. And they talk about, he played soccer when he was growing up. That's why he has such great footwork. And he does have great footwork. But there's sometimes he would travel. He would just flat out travel. And the refs wouldn't call it. And I went to a ref one time. I was like, I know I played soccer growing up, but isn't that traveling? I go, you can't get from there to there without a dribble. And he goes, I don't know, it looked good to me. I was like, well, hell. So I finally got my answer. Craig Elo was playing against Dominique Wilkins, and Dominique used to do his spin move. And he'd do it from almost like the top of the key. It'd be like a dribble spin, and then he'd dunk it. It's like, well, there's no way you can cover that much ground. So Elo was guarding him, and he did the spin move and dunked. And I think it was Hugh Evans as the official. And Craig walks up to Hugh Evans, and he says, hey Hugh, isn't that a travel? Like when he picks up the ball and spins from the top of the key and goes and gets all the way to the rim, isn't that a travel? And he looked him dead in the eye and said, if you had that much talent, I'd let you travel too. what kind of answer is that?
That was honest.
He was, but it's like, well, what does that even mean? Well, how much talent do I need to have so I can blatantly break the rules and you guys
no rules?
It's unbelievable.
Calling traveling in the NBA is like calling holding on the Chiefs. It doesn't exist.
Look at you. Certainly didn't exist during the Super Bowl. There's no doubt about that. So let me get back to this, because what I wanted to ask you. I was going to ask you what the backup guys playing the way they do means in the locker room, specifically to the guys that are out right now. Because if I'm a guy and I'm a starter and I'm seeing the way these guys are balling out, I'm like, I better have my stuff tight and ready to go by the time I get back, because these guys are not only holding the fort, they're plowing forward in the top of the division right now. Rams win yesterday, 5-2. So I mean, there's like no excuses not to say you have to win every game, but you better be mentally and physically like as prepared as you can be going into the game. There is no excuses for not being 100% on both of those levels.
I agree. I think it certainly helps the healing process for those that are out for a few weeks. It's like a magic
Yep.
elixir.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Yeah. And you know what's weird, and you know this, like you could start forever, be all league, be whatever, but all of a sudden your backup's in there because you're banged up for 2 or 3 weeks and he has some success, and you're like, you're glad for him, but you're not really glad for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, wait a second, I better get back in there and get ready, heal up quicker, or
Yep.
push yourself that much harder, or maybe I'll come back a week before I'm supposed to.
Yep.
It's just human nature.
It is. Well, I've probably talked to you about this over the years. I know I've talked to Steve about it. The dynamics of being an athlete on a team that's not playing, or on the bench or second string or whatever you want to call it. It's that angel and devil sitting on your shoulder, because the guy in front of you, if he makes a mistake, you're not happy because it hurts the team, but there's a part of you, that devil, that's going, all right, our time's coming. One more drop, you're going to be in the game. And you're like trying to fight off the devil, because the angel's like, oh, that was bad for the team. He dropped a third down pass. And the devil's like going, F you, we're going to get in the game. That's what we want. We want to get in the game. It's a weird, it really is. And I think anybody that says, I'm completely 100% rooting for the guy in front of me, isn't being completely honest. I think you can root for him, but there's also a part of you that isn't that upset if they mess up somehow, because you want to play too. Like, you want to get your chance. It's just, again, it's a weird dynamic that I think a lot of athletes have had to fight, that feeling like, God, I don't want to root against him because I want to win. And I like the guy. We're friends, but I would like to play too. I need to get in there.
Yeah. I think it's just one of the unsaid things about pro sports. And like you said, there's varying levels of guys and what they're, quote, rooting for.
Yeah.
But it's tough to root against your team, your friends.
It is.
But let's face it, it doesn't suck if you're up by 2 touchdowns and the guy playing your position drops on a touchdown right in his hands, and you're like, oh man, we could have had that. Well, it might be better for me next week. You
Time to shine.
We don't root for injuries, just maybe a hamstring tweak. No, I don't know. It is a weird dynamic, and I think everybody's aware of it. And you're happy for your teammates and your friends, and you want to win, and you want to play, and you want to get your chance. And I think a lot of guys understand healthy competition, but a lot of times everybody thinks the coach favors this guy or that guy, and like, yeah, well, we'll see what happens with your guy. See, you should have had me in there. And so it's always a strange dynamic.
It really is.
But it'd be awesome, like if they had like thought bubbles. Maybe AI will create that, where you can see who's the backup guy thinking.
Yeah,
take that sack. Carson Wentz.
Can you imagine the backup guy, like the guy at his position goes down and the doctor comes out and they're looking at him, and the backup guy's on the sidelines, and they go, well, good news, it's not broken. And the guy at stop bubble goes, shit. Dang it.
Can't catch a break.
I was getting 8 weeks around. I was going to be for the foreseeable future. Because, I mean, look, another thing that we don't talk about, because no one really wants to hear it, but it's under there. This is a business. Everyone wants to keep playing and keep making money and provide for themselves and their families. Like, we don't think, when people say I'd play this game for free, I say you're full of shit. You're not playing this game for free. You're playing it for money. But we find out who plays it for money and who plays it for the love of the game, the passion, the teammates, but also it's a business. Like, those things got to come first, but it's always a business. It never is not a business. So when people try to sell that, peddle that crap, yeah, I'd play for free. It's like, my ass, you would. You're not playing for free. But in a business, how do you make the most money in a short career? You got to play. You got to prove you're worth it. And I've always said this, Brent, when people say, I play for championships, that's what I'm playing for. And I go, I don't believe that. I believe when you get in the league, you're playing to prove you belong in the league. And then when you proved you belong in the league, now you're playing for, I want to stay in the league and I want to accomplish something in the league, whether it's stats, wins, I want to make as much money as possible. And now I want to win some championships. Because I asked Steve Kerr this. I go, would you trade all your rings, coaching and playing, for being a Hall of Fame player? And he said, absolutely. He goes, I'd trade all of them to know what it feels like to go out there on the field on the court full of the best players and dominate and be one of the greatest players to ever play the game. He goes, as opposed to being a role player who won rings. He goes, don't get me wrong. He goes, this is great. I love winning rings. But he goes, wouldn't you want to know what it's like to be like one of the 10 best players in the sport at like any given time? Like you just go out there. And I was like, it's an interesting conversation.
Yeah, no one's ever asked me that question. I hadn't thought about it.
Well, what would you say if they said, okay, Brent Jones, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. You're going to be considered the best tight end ever to play the game, but you didn't win a ring. Would you take that or the rings?
Man, looking back, I mean, I feel like I'd take my career.
Yeah, but you were really good anyway.
Yeah, but
I mean, well, Steve was too, but I would say in terms of levels, I mean, Steve was. I mean, I would say in terms of levels, you were higher than Steve. Steve's a really good player.
Oh, I know.
And he's more than just. But he's a role player.
I get it,
and
but it is weird, and I don't know. My guess
you had a great career. I mean, you had the best. I mean, look, you're going to the damn Niner Hall of Fame. I'll be there.
We'll be the best.
It's going to be incredible. It's going to be incredible.
All my buddies would be so psyched.
No, you kind of had the best. You kind of had the best of both worlds. You had like an incredible career.
It was awesome, I got to say. But you know what? The one thing I'm most proud about, looking back at my career, was I never did anything while I was playing that was a business decision, other than I held out a training camp a couple of weeks one year. But yeah. I never didn't play in a game because of a business decision. I took way too many painkillers to play in games. I did all kinds of crazy stuff because once I was in, I was all the way in. Like missing a game and sitting on the sideline would have been the worst torture for me. And I had to do it, obviously, a handful of times, but that would have killed me. So you've seen guys in contract years that sit out for a few extra weeks, or, hey, I'm not going to press it, or I'm not going for that ball across the middle because I'm going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if I would have ever alligatored a ball, I wouldn't have been able to live with myself. No way. No way. If somebody ever said you had alligator arms, I'd fight him on the spot to the death. That was the worst thing you could ever say.
You couldn't say that. No, you took some hellacious shots. I mean, there's no doubt that you laid out for some balls that maybe weren't in your long-term best interest.
We're not good business decisions.
No, we're not. But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you knew it was a business, but you loved the game, and you loved playing with the Niners and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, again, you had the best of both worlds. There's no doubt about it. God, what was I going to ask you? Would you? Oh, so let me ask you this: would you have played for free?
When I first started playing,
you almost did.
The
play
minimum wage was like $50,000. It was close to for free. But there were times where I think in college, if you just said, "Hey, you can play a couple years in the NFL, but you're not going to get paid, but you can catch touchdowns or be on TV or whatever," and I probably would have said, "I'm all in." Hopefully I can get some endorsements instead of a salary.
It's NIL money.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, that's how much you grew up loving the game and like, man, it was just the best being a kid and watching games. And I mean, I still get fired up for games. I mean, it's
no, so do I. I mean, it's I love sports. I love watching sports. I love playing sports. I'm with you. I think if they had said you could be in the league, but you're not going to get paid. I think when I was in college, I would have said, yeah, okay, cool. I'm good with that. And then
until
after a couple of years, I would
smacked around a bit, and you couldn't buy any food or pay for gas. And you're like, I don't know if this is that
I would have
great.
said I'm getting my ass kicked by Ewing and Olajuwon, and I'm living in a cardboard box. This isn't going to work. This isn't working out for me. Some hobo out here on the court getting his ass kicked.
Pre-game will work for food.
Dude, I'll go in there and steal all the cheese and crackers. From
Tolbert out there with a cardboard box, like with a sign on it.
Did you guys have any?
You still got an hour before tip off.
I'm over at the Hofbrau, hoping for a sausage or something. What kind of spread did you guys have? Because these teams nowadays, it's unbelievable what they can eat, and not what they can eat, what's available to them to eat, like in the clubhouses and locker rooms, stuff like that. We didn't have crap back in the day. We had like Gatorade can. Yeah, it's zero
spread. Spread was not a thing. It used to, like, if there was a bagel at the office or at the facility, you'd fight over it. There was no food provided back then. There was no spread at the stadium. Like, you were starving before a game or after a game. You'd be like dying. That's why we snuck hot dogs during the preseason.
It's incredible now.
Huh?
Yeah, we got nothing. So we had like literally nothing. We had Gatorades in the locker room. I remember Latrell Sprewell one time came in with a bag, like a duffel bag, and he started emptying out the refrigerator and putting the Gatorades in his duffel bag. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? I go, those are for the team. He goes, oh, they'll fucking refill it up again. I go, go buy your own Gatorade. They're like, fucking $2 a 6-pack maybe back then, maybe $1.50. I'm like, he goes, well, shit, they're here for free. I'm gonna he loaded up a case of Gatorade in his bag and took it home, and I was like, are you seriously kidding me? I cannot believe you're doing that. So put that in contrast with today. You go in to the Warrior facility today, and Lake Up does a great job giving these guys pretty much everything they need. I think most teams do now. Mark Cuban, I think, was one of the first ones that started it. So you go in there, they have a chef. Everyone can get meals at the end of the game, cook whatever you want, fix it up for you. You're good to go. They have breakfast when they show up in the morning before practice. They have lunch. The chef's in there cooking, doing his stuff. They go on the road. They still get per diem. I don't know what per diem is anymore. A couple $100 a day. Man. Never need to spend it. They have a ballroom that's open pretty much all day. Not whatever you want, but really good food. And then after games, because I travel during the playoffs, after games, it's like, we're going over to Ruth Chris's. You can bring a friend, family members, whatever. We'll just go over there and have dinner. And it's just, that's it. And I'm like, man, we got like, you're lucky if you got a club sandwich from room service after your game. And guess what? You were using your per diem to buy it too. Absolutely. They weren't giving it to you. It's like, we gave you that $80 for a reason. I'm like, $80? It's a 6-day roadie. Where am I going to eat on $80 for 6 days? You're killing me out here.
Man, it has changed drastically. I was at the 49ers facility, and they have a restaurant that's open like the whole time that the facility's open.
Do they a restaurant?
Cooking food. It's spectacular. But it wasn't a thing back then, because if it was a thing, Eddie would have had it for the guys.
Yes.
He would have made it happen. But it just I can remember ordering my own lunch every day, and if you missed the order window, you ate nothing.
You ate nothing.
Yeah.
Miss the order window.
Missed the window. Oh my, I forgot to order my lunch today. And you'd be like, what am I going to do?
But doesn't it make sense? Like I say, I think Cuban was the first that kind of figured this out. I could be wrong on that, but it makes perfect sense. Like you're paying these guys millions of dollars. And if you want to look at it from a base level, they're assets. Don't you want to get the most out of your assets? So how do I do that, right? I give them the best travel. I give them, I mean, we have like multiple masseuses going on the road with us. I'm like, I go, what do we have? A masseuse for each fucking like muscle group? Like we have like isn't one masseuse good enough? Do we need like 3 of them? It's like, hey, good for them, employment. But I mean, the jet used to be players, team, maybe a couple of broadcasters. That was it. Now it's completely full. Like there's so many people on the jet when you travel. It's incredible. But so it's the masseuses, it's the treatment, it's the travel, it's the hotel, it's the food. It's making everything as easy as possible for you so you can compete at the highest level. And when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. So you're paying these guys tons of money. Don't you want them performing at maximum efficiency? So if I'm an owner, I'm like, yeah, I want to give these guys every opportunity possible to be successful.
Yep. No, it all makes sense. And I think you are right. I think Cuban was an early mover there, and then guys follow along, and now everybody's off the charts. I mean, it's ridiculous. And so all football organizations, everything, it's just, why wouldn't you? If I had a football team, and it's different than a basketball team, because football teams have their training facility, right? You come in every day, you only play 1 game a week, but kind of like the old Google approach to their offices. Let's provide meals and masseuses and chefs and stuff, because the more time you can keep people around the office, the more productive they're going to be. And so make it so they want to be at the facility and want to be watching film or grabbing, hey, I'm going to go quick grab dinner and stay an extra hour and watch film tonight. We never had anything like that. So you had to drive home to get dinner. So I get it. It makes sense. And you want your athletes engaged as much as possible. And it's a net benefit for the athletes, and you're getting the best out of your assets. Why wouldn't you? I just wish I had it.
Yeah. No doubt. And guess what?
You'll get nothing and like it. Spalding.
Thank you. And an ancillary benefit, you're just around the facility more, so you're hanging around your teammates more.
Absolutely.
And that bond grows tighter and tighter.
That bond grows tighter and tighter. And I mean, bringing it full circle, I think the 49ers have that bond. I really do. I mean, we're 5-2. And we probably have no business being 5-2, but because we've had, multiple guys step up through the course of hellacious early season injuries, we have guys that are prepared, ready to go, well coached. We've got guys that we hadn't heard of that are contributing in a major way. It says a lot about what's going on over there at the facility.
Yeah, and when you look at it too, I mean, I would say that the tougher part of the schedule is behind them now. Because if you look at the schedule going, and again, schedule is what the schedule is. I'm sure a lot of people thought, oh, at Indy, that'll be a win. Not so much. Indy's really good. That's a really
man. I don't know how that happened, but I love the fact that the one of the sister owners is down on the field with the headset, listening to plays.
Yeah,
high-fiving guys. It's just so random. It's so far out of the box that I find it amusing.
It is. There's no doubt. It is. It's a little. It's like what? What are they? Oh, all right. What the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you look at who they've played so far. Seahawks on the road. At Saints wasn't a tough one. Cardinals may not be very good, but Jaguars are good. Rams are good. Buccaneers are good. Falcons are at least, on the north side of mediocre. Texans are okay. They got to go there. Then you get the Giants, Rams, Cardinals, Panthers, Browns, Titans, Colts, Bears, Seahawks. So I think that early part of the schedule has been the tougher part of the schedule. And they've you know what? And I said this last night, Brent. They've given themselves some margin for error.
Yep.
So if you have that one game where you're just not right, where maybe you do some stupid stuff, some uncharacteristic stuff, the referee goes, you get a bad whistle that game from the referee, just something happens that every team has won throughout you've given yourself that margin for error because you've already taken back a couple of those games that you could have lost, but they found a way to win. So that's what this gives them. And not only do they have the margin for error now, they got that margin for error without their best players on the field. So I just think at 5-2, these guys are from what they've had to deal with, as good a position as they could have hoped.
I agree. 100%. Perfectly said.
Yep. All right. How the South Lake Dragons doing?
57-7, baby.
Good Lord. Are they going to have a close game this year again? One more?
Till probably the second, third round of the playoffs. But they're so good this year. They really are. So
got a bunch of D1 dudes on the team.
Yeah. We've got some ball players, and it's fun to see. It's fun for the community. But they're in the mix every year. But this year, I think in the 8 years that we've been here, this is their best team. And they had Quinn Ewers a couple of years too. So
did they shut down the whole town? Is it in Dallas? Is South Lake where they?
We're in North Dallas.
Okay.
North Dallas.
So they don't shut down the town for when it's a big that's small time small town.
Yeah,
Texas
no, this town's too big.
football.
But I gotta say,
yeah, that's what I thought.
A lot of people follow them, and it's Friday Night Lights personified. It's pretty cool.
You got to get to a game again.
There you go. It's finally starting to get cold.
Is it?
We're watching them on TV. Yeah.
Wait. Excuse me. What? You're watching? They're on TV?
Oh, you can get them streaming or what have you.
Oh, okay. Wow, you're hardcore.
Yeah.
High school football, streaming high school football. That's what it's come to. I don't know.
Well, I've been to one game this year. I got to go to more. Yeah, my schedule's clearing up. I'm ready to go. I'm going to jump on the bandwagon.
You've already been on the bandwagon. You've worn the hat multiple times.
True.
So you're there. But you live there. That's not really on the bandwagon. You live there.
That is true.
So you're good.
It's fun. I mean, it's a great community thing to do.
Yeah.
It's kind of how high school football used to be in California, and then gradually it wasn't as in pockets. It's still a big deal, but not as big as a deal as it used to be in the 70s and 80s, I think.
All right, one last thing before I let you go. Do you think going to Santa Clara, if college football rules were what they are now in terms of NIL and transfers and stuff, do you think you would have stayed at Santa Clara your entire career?
Great question, man. I guess it would have been relative to who came calling. What were my options?
Did you ever think about transferring? Because you had a great career at Santa Clara, and you could have played.
I thought about transferring after my freshman baseball year because I got hurt playing football my second year. Baseball coach took away my scholarship because I got hurt.
Oh, he did it.
Baseball, and I was I was enraged. I was like, I was going because I thought I was going to be a baseball player. So I went in and told our athletic director, Pat Malley, that I was going to transfer, and he was our football coach. And he told me to go home and think about it for 24 hours. And when I came back, he got extra money for me. And he said, we think that if you stay, we're going to switch you to tight end. And we think that you have a chance to play in the NFL. And I was so dumb, I believed it. And so I stayed and I gave up baseball.
Yeah, and he was so dumb. He was absolutely right.
Oh my gosh! The odds of that happening were like 1,000 to 1. Oh yeah, okay, sure. I can play in the NFL. Of course I can. I played at Santa
And
Clara. I
look,
started 1 year. I didn't even start in high school. Yeah, that's the ticket. I'm going to go to the NFL.
you didn't start in high school?
No, I was
Really?
mad. I was the third wide receiver, and I thought I should start, but I didn't. And I was mad. And my coach, like he was a great coach, he said, "Well, you got a lot of potential." I'm like, "Well, what does that do for me? My high school career's over now. Like, what am I going to do with that potential?
You got a lot of potential.
To do what?
You should play intramurals.
Yeah, I'll destroy them at college intramurals, or I can play semi-pro or adult.
My God. So did you go to Santa Clara for baseball? So
my football coach ended up talking to Pat Malley's son, Terry Malley, and Terry, they got me a partial football, partial baseball. So I went to play 2 sports.
Wow.
And you know what I found out when I got home from my senior high school Hawaii trip with all my buddies on July 1st? My parents were there and they said, "You're not going to believe it. Santa Clara called and you got a baseball and football scholarship." And I'm like, "Why didn't you call me in Hawaii?" Well, back then it was probably $30 to call Hawaii. What? We'll wait till you get home.
$10 a minute.
My dad wrote my essay. Here's the application. It has to be in because school starts in a month. What?
It's too expensive to call you to tell you you're going to Santa Clara.
Why? What? You know the long distance rates.
Oh, they were killers. They were absolute
brutal.
killers.
Could've
I mean,
been $100.
Anybody that played pro sports when we played pro sports understands that you looked at that phone and that was a no-fly zone. You're like, man. I'm not picking up that phone.
It was worse than a slot machine.
Oh, you could call your wife, your whoever, and you like talk for 20 minutes. It's like $115. Like, what am I doing?
Nobody has these kids have no idea.
And then you had to try to get through the incidental Nazi, whoever that was on your team. Like, oh, pay your incidentals, Try to slide one through. Never worked. Always came back to get you. Tom, you owe us $115. You made a phone call. And there were always guys on the team, though, that would go, "I didn't make that call."
That wasn't me.
Shut up. Somebody snuck. When you get a problem, somebody snuck into your house and somebody snuck into your room and called your house. What a coincidence. Oh, that is so brutal. All right, my friend, tell the family I said hi. Everybody doing good?
You do the same. Everyone's doing good.
That's good. Tell them I said hi, and I'll look forward to talking to you next week.
You got it, brother.
Thanks, Brent. Appreciate it, man. See you, man. Oh my God. All right, we're out of here. I love Brent. It's so much fun talking to him every single week. And so Wednesday, hopefully Dwayne Kuiper is going to join us. Talk some Giants baseball and some World Series. And I want you guys to think about this. You can think about this and get back to me on Wednesday. Can you find a better postseason performance than Shohei Ohtani? Is that the greatest postseason performance of all time? Or, as I phrased it, the greatest championship series performance of all time? Because Reggie Jackson had 3 home runs in a game. They didn't have 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 0 earned, 10 Ks. That's what puts it over the top. But anything that happens in a World Series that's close, I think supersedes anything that happens in a championship series. And they were up 3-0 in the series, so don't take anything away from it. I mean, how do you do that? 3 home runs, 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 0 earned, 10 Ks. It's the most absurd thing. Like, I think we're getting to the point where when Ohtani does something, you're like, it's Ohtani. Of course. Man, that doesn't happen. That just does not happen. Does not happen. And so, all right, we got Warriors to get to tomorrow night too. I don't know. I may do a show. Maybe after the game, maybe not. Not sure. We'll see. Could happen. Could not happen. Got a big day Wednesday, so got a lot of irons in the fire. But maybe. But I'm not going to make a habit of doing Warrior post game shows. Just not. Not during the regular season. Postseason, yes. Big games. Something crazy happens during the game, yeah. But I might. Really? The third home run balls were $3 million? Is that you pulling my leg? Seriously? Wow. I know. You know what time it is? 2:00. You know how I know? Oh, God, come on. I know. Oh, my God. Yeah, Don Larson, perfect game, World Series. Cool. How many home runs he hit, though? None. I mean, no, Don Larson, Reggie. But, I mean, how do you even put it in context when you pitched and hit? I mean, Don Larson's probably but again, what's better? Don Larson, perfect game. Reggie Jackson, 3 home runs. How many guys have hit 3 home runs in a World Series game? Is it just Reggie? I don't know. Obviously, Shohei hit it in the NLCS, but is that the greatest postseason game non-World Series edition? Because, again, it's not as good as Don Larson, in my opinion. It's not as good as Reggie, in my opinion, just because it wasn't the World Series. If he had done that in the World Series, that may be the greatest postseason performance of all time. But it steps up a notch. So, for me, just by definition, if you do it in the World Series and it's a great performance, then it's better than a great performance in the ALCS. 4 players have hit 3 home runs in a single World Series game. Reggie, Paul, that's right. Paul, how did I forget Pablo? Pablo did it against the Tigers. Of course, Babe Ruth did it. Why wouldn't he? Pujols, was that against Astros? Probably against the Astros. Maybe not. I don't know, but I think it's against the Astros. Okay, so thank you for that. So, yeah, I mean, Pablo's was against what? Verlander twice. I forget who the third guy was. But, yeah, I mean, just to me, the World Series makes it different. The World Series ramps it up a little bit more. But, man, if you're the Mariners or the Blue Jays, did you miss the Ohtani Cardinals over the Rangers? Oh, that was the one. Oh, he had 3 home runs in a game in that series. I don't remember that. All I remember from that series is David Freese. And then he got a big contract from the Angels. It wasn't that good. Shocker, the Angels missed on somebody. And I remember David Freese triple to right that Nelson Cruz misplayed. Oops. The Rangers were. How tough is that to live with? You're 1 strike away from the World Series. Not 1 out, 1 strike. And you don't get it. That's got to be rough. I don't care how much money you have, how much money you made during your career. That one's rough. 1 strike away. Game 3, 16-7 Cardinals. I forget. I don't remember that game for some reason. Good Lord. That was an over special. 16-7. My goodness gracious. So, yeah, I'd put all those games ahead of Ohtani. Even though the fact that Ohtani had 3 home runs and pitched, by definition, that game in a vacuum is better than those games. I'm still going World Series games they're more meaningful. They just are. But in a vacuum, maybe the greatest game of all time. Quite possibly could be the greatest game of all time. When you pitch as well as he pitched, and yeah, Lou, I know, Erwin. Lou is definitely saying it's time. Liz like, buddy boy, we are well past 2. Oh, dang, we're like 2:30. It's definitely time, huh? You've been a good girl. I'm just going to ask you one question. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Oh, man. You want to eat? You hungry? Oh, okay. Is it time to go? You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Let's go. See you guys Wednesday. See ya.